Behind the steel walls of a Western intelligence headquarters, deep beneath the surface lies a windowless room. On the cold metal table lies a black-bound document, no title. No identification, just a single, mysterious code, Project Lysander. For decades, it has lain in the darkest archives, locked away untouched except by a handful of people who know that it holds a story they never wanted to tell. This narrative is the story of an operation that went unrecorded in history. A secret mission undertaken not to be remembered, but to be denied. And of a man whose existence was nearly erased from the world. The year is 1943. Europe is in chaos. Cities are crumbling, borders are shifting, and every day, the skies are filled with the sound of bombers. Amid the panic, Western intelligence analysts make a horrifying discovery. The enemy is developing an experimental technology that, if successful, could wipe out entire cities in seconds. It's a resonant-energy weapon, something far beyond the capabilities of the warfighting technology of its time. To stop them, a shadow unit was formed. A unit with no uniforms, no identification, and no military record. They didn't appear in reports, but their presence changed the course of the war. The unit was given one task: infiltrate an enemy research facility, steal information, and if necessary, destroy it. Led by an agent named Marlow, 4 people are sent on this mission with no return. That night, the sky above the Alps was pitch black. A small, unmarked plane flew low, avoiding radar. When the lights went out in the cabin, the agents stood still. They didn't say a word because they knew there was no promise of a return. One by one, they jumped into the raging blizzard. The wind slapped their faces like knives. Their parachutes opened silently. They descended into the snow-covered valley, hid behind a boulder, and began moving like shadows toward the heavily guarded enemy facility. Spotlights sweep the area. Guard dogs bark. One small mistake could end the mission. They cut through barbed wire with magnetic cutters, knelt in the snow, and stepped into territory they shouldn't have. But something happened. The alarm suddenly went off. Sirens wailed loudly, shattering the silence of the night. The lights began to flicker, and enemy troops ran out of the barracks with their weapons raised. Their location had somehow been revealed. In an instant, the mission turned from a silent infiltration to a race against time. Marlow made a dangerous decision. He ordered 2 team members to create a distraction on the east side. A small explosion was heard, drawing the enemy's attention. Meanwhile, Marlow and another agent sneaked into the facility. Inside, dark corridors were filled with steam pipes and flashing lights. The smell of hot metal filled the air. They moved quickly toward the research center, the room that housed the prototype machine they had been searching for. When the door opened, both of them fell silent. In the center of the room stood a massive machine with a bright blue, shimmering core. Thick cables coiled around it, and energy rippled softly like tiny bolts of lightning. If this machine were successfully perfected, the world would change forever, a much darker place. Marlow quickly attached a small explosive package to the engine core. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from understanding the grave consequences of his mission. That was when the laboratory door was suddenly slammed shut. Fully armed soldiers burst in. The sound of gunfire filled the room. Sparks flew. Marlow's fellow agent was hit first. His body fell to the floor, blood flowing in a thin line across the laboratory floor. Despite his severe injuries, he continued to fire back, giving Marlow the final seconds to complete his task. Full of adrenaline, Marlow pressed the timer activation button 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes to get out, or die with the machine. He ran through narrow hallways that began to vibrate with the sound of explosion alarms. Lights flickered, pipes burst. Small explosions rang out in the walls, shattering glass and steel. When Marlow reached the exit, the path was already covered in rubble, and then the world exploded. The explosion was focused on the center of the building. It wasn't large. It didn't destroy the entire valley, but it was enough to obliterate the prototype and all of the enemy's research. The facility collapsed to the ground, leaving a cloud of dust and smoke billowing into the dark sky. When the shadow rescue team arrived hours later, they found 3 bodies, but not Marlow's, only the parachute. Torn, left in the snow. Was he killed in the explosion? Did he escape? Or was he captured by the enemy and hidden forever? No one knows, and no one ever dared to ask. Decades later, as war archives began to be declassified, someone rediscovered the document Project Lysander. Inside mission logs, team photos, and a crossed-out stamp over Marlow's name. Historians agree, some of history's greatest victories were never recorded. The names of those who contributed were never made public, and wars were often won by those who worked silently, in the shadows, without hope of recognition. This is their story, an almost forgotten story. The story of an operation that saved the world unknown to the world.